The surgeon is in. Former head coach David Beaudin brings his football expertise to Frog fans everywhere in Dissecting the Frogs.
Welcome to Dissecting the Frogs as part of the Frogs Today family. We are so excited to bring you this special Riff Ram 23 episode. Today we've got 14 commits, current hard commits to TCU from the class of 2023. We've also have 3 guys stop by that are really leaning towards TCU, and we're going to get their thoughts on why TCU, what stands out about the Horned Frogs for them, and why they made the decision to come here to TCU. It's an exciting episode, I'll tell you what. We also get into why they love football and what they're passionate about, so you can got to get to know your new Frogs. We're kicking things off with the linebackers. So, look, when you start any group off, any position group off, you go to the guys that lead the defense, and that's typically your linebackers that can do it all. They can blitz, they can drop into coverage. They've got to know the entire defense, what the front is doing, what the back end's doing. So 2 great guests today. We've got Kylan Salter here from Cedar Hill, right down the road, is joining us, and Jonathan Bax from Edna Carr High School out in New Orleans. So both here today in Fort Worth, and really excited to join us. Welcome, fellas.
Hello. How you doing?
Thanks for having me, Coach.
Yeah, we're doing great. So tell me a little bit about, and both of you are 2023 commits to TCU. And Jonathan, let's start with you. Through the whole process, I'm sure you've been asked this a lot, but you had a bunch of opportunities. Why TCU?
First, TCU, I came to the camp, proved what I could do. Shout out to Coach Gillespie for sure, and Coach Buck, because Coach Buck really came and recruited me down in New Orleans. So when I came up, showed what I could do. Coach Gillespie, he just fell in love, and I just fell in love with TCU. And I could just tell the vibes. It was good. I had a great camp, and it's like everything was perfect. So that's really what made me choose TCU.
Yeah, you and I talked a little while back and had a great conversation. I'll be honest, I told everybody after I got the phone with you, man, I was fired up. You had me fired up because you're a guy who loves football. I love football, and for all the right reasons. But you did it sort of in an old school kind of way. You went up and just went to camp and got to work, right?
Yes, sir.
What was that like, just kind of betting on yourself, so to speak, right? You go to camp and say, hey, I'm going to get this thing done.
Oh, yes, sir. It's crazy you said that because I actually had that tattooed on me, bet on myself. That's what I live by. And, I really just took a bet on myself. I told my parents I was wanting to do that too because, I really didn't start off playing linebacker. I played edge at my school, DN. So I just came to camp, only like 2 weeks, worked the linebacker, and just proved what I could do. And so that really, it just showed like I appreciated my work with it because, I really betted on myself, like you said, and to see it all paid off, it just felt good. So that's really.
Yeah, it's impressive. I mean, what you did as an edge player in high school, I've seen your film. Obviously a great player, can get after it. But then to make that transition, for just a couple of weeks and get to camp and then start to get, big time offers from that. Credit to you, man, for doing that. It's awesome.
Appreciate that.
Kylan, for you, man, tell us a little bit about. I know you and I got a chance to talk the other day. Just recently committed, and want to welcome you to the family here. But tell us a little bit why specifically TCU for you.
After my injury, TCU was one of the schools that stayed on me the most. They trusted me. They trusted that I was going to keep working because they knew what type of person and character I had. They knew I wasn't going to give up on what I wanted.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. So Kylan had a ACL, is that right? Yeah, ACL a couple months ago, a few months ago, and like the man he is, picked up the phone, made the phone call, let them know, hey, this is what happened, was up front. And they showed a lot of love to you, didn't they?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so he's rehabbing ahead of schedule, so happy to report that. But how much did it mean to you that they took the time to, encourage you every single day going through it? Because a lot of places, honestly, you go through that, it might just drop off and you never hear from them, right? And these guys just took the opposite approach. Is that right?
Sure. It means a lot. I mean, after my ACL, I just was doubting myself a lot, thinking I was going to never come back. But with TCU motivation, Coach Gillespie and Coach Jones waking me up every day with quotes from 6 in the morning, just letting me know that they still believe in me and know that I can do it.
I think that's great. And when you and I talked, it really sparked something, and I want to ask both of you this. You had said, I asked you about Coach Gillespie and his defense and something that you loved about it, and you had mentioned just that you don't have to think, right? And I don't think people understand how important that is in football to allow guys. I think us as coaches, right, we tend to overcomplicate things. I mean, let's be honest. We tend to make it harder than it needs to be. But when you can play in a defense that just attacks all the time, and you can just go out and play and be the athletes that you are, how important? Let's start with you, Jonathan. How important is that for you?
It's very important because you don't have to think. It's all reaction. That's what we do best already. So without eliminating the thinking part, you could just play fast and play smart and play hard. That's the best part about this defense.
For sure. I think for you it makes a lot of sense too, because playing the edge where you're getting after the quarterback all the time, now you're in a position where you may be playing off the ball, but you're still attacking a lot, right? You're still blitzing.
That's another thing that's great about this defense. You don't know what I'm going to do and play. I could pass rush and I also could drop back and play in coverage.
Right. Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, if I was in charge, which I'm not, okay, I'd have you get after it quite a bit. I don't know how much I'd have you drop. Well, that's good. And so for you, expand on that a little bit more on, hey, coming to a place, especially learning a new system, going from high school to college. How important is it for you to just say, hey, I can just line up and play?
Man, I could just be myself in that defense. I can see a hole, hit it, and I know. Well, I trust the coaching with just everything. I just be myself in that defense.
Sure. Let me close with this for each of you, and this is a question you feel free to answer it any way you'd like. Tell me about what about football specifically? Do you love? It could be on or off the field, but John, with you, what's your favorite thing about football?
I think we talked about this on the phone. I was talking about the grind and the work you put into it. Because like I said, it just it's really a blessing to see how it unfolds once you put on the hard work into it. Just because I had an injury as well, and just coming back from the injury, and now I'm in this position that I am right now. So I just like the grind and the hard work that come with playing football. I
love it. Yeah, that's one of the things that again fired me up, man. You got to embrace that part of it because it's such a delayed gratification sport, right? Where you're putting in the work, you're only playing once a week, unlike baseball, basketball, those things. So if you don't fall in love with that, it's going to be a tough career, right? How about you, Colin? What's your favorite thing about football?
Football, I believe it just save a lot of young men from just doing stuff. It keep people busy all day, and it also bless people with free college tuition. Well, college, it's just a lot. I love everything about football.
Sure, yeah, no, it's something really positive in our lives, right? And keep us focused. I agree with you. Well, you had an injury. It'd be nice you guys to be in the same room, right? And be able to kind of lean on one another and going through that experience. Look, you guys have been great. I wish both of you a lot of luck. I'm excited to watch both of you play. Not only two great players, but from my experience, two great young men. And so, great to know you guys. And we'll see a lot of you around here in Fort Worth. Two large defensive ends that are extremely versatile. 2023 commits here at TCU and excited. Zachary Chapman here from Fort Bend Marshall High School is here, and Avion Carter from Amarillo Tascosa High School.
Yes,
all right, got it. I was trying to practice that one before we started. So excited welcome to the show, both of you guys. Yes, yeah, I know you guys are you're maybe a little bit nervous for this, but as I told you at the beginning, I'm more nervous than you are. So look, you guys both had plenty of opportunities, and Avion, we'll start with you. What stood out, and at the end of the day, why TCU for you?
I had visited a lot of colleges. My top four was Tech, Texas, OSU, TCU. I went to all those colleges. I left there thinking, where am I gonna go? Came on my official, and then right before we left, I was talking to Coach Dykes. I was like, man, I want to be here. This is somewhere I wanted to be. Me and my mama had a conversation about it previously before talking to him. She started crying. She was like, I know this is the place for you. So, when mama started crying, she's like, this, man.
No doubt.
Yeah, so I was like, Coach Dykes, I want to commit.
Right.
So, yes, sir.
Yeah, no, that's powerful. Listen, it's all about mom, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I agree with you, and sometimes you just know, right? If you're on campus, you just have that feeling, and mom always knows best. So you were smart in that.
Oh,
that
yes,
decision.
sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, that's good. Oh, well, good. Zachary, how about for you? What stood out? And why TCU at the end of the day?
Really, it was just when I had got hurt, they was the main school just looking at me, staying, being consistent with me, talking to me on a daily basis. And when I came up to the school, they just really showed out. They made it feel like a home, a family. So I was just ready to commit.
Yeah, Zach, I think it's big. I talked to a couple other guys that in somewhat similar situations fighting through injury.
Yes,
Expand on that a little bit. How much does that mean to you that they reached out and still continue to recruit you hard even through an injury?
Oh, it meant a lot because a lot of schools they started dropping off. The communication started dropping off a lot, and when they were just communicating with me, it just made me feel like I was still worth it. Like I was still that athlete.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that goes, certainly goes a long way for you, and
Yes, sir.
and for any I would think any prospective student athlete. So good for you and good for them. Tell us a little bit. Both of you guys are versatile players, right? When I see the film on either one of you, you can do multiple things, and I think it's a great landing spot for each of you. Avion, we'll start with you, but how excited are you to be in a defense where there's tons of movement, there's tons of pressures? You're not just sitting there two-gapping all day, right? I mean, you're a guy who played on the edge, but you can do multiple things. So how excited are you about this defense?
Man, I'm really excited. Me playing the 5 and then moving into the 3, 4. I mean, I feel like I can cause some damage, to be honest. I mean, I'm quick, strong, so yes, sir.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's now all of a sudden you become you go from a defensive end, you move inside, and now you got elite quickness at that spot. Not a lot of guys that can move like you, move like a defensive end in the interior, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, well, good. Zachary, how about you? Are you excited about Coach Gillespie's defense here and how you fit in?
I'm excited for it because it just takes away our boundaries for pass rush lanes, and I'm just excited to just get to the QB and go and cause some pressure and create havoc.
So you say take away your boundaries for the pass rush lanes. Tell me a little bit about that. For those who don't know, because some people at home are saying pass rush lanes, what are they talking about?
It just means for instance, when I'm at 5, staying to the outside, but with the way this defense is set up, I can go to the inside. I can switch over to the outside if I need to. Just any way to get to the QB.
Yeah, it's about creating matchups, right? A lot of people think about matchup football just on the outside at receiver and that sort of thing. Matchup, but the same thing can be said at defensive line. Last thing here, want to close for both of you, and Avion, we'll start with you. This could be on or off the field, but what do you really love about football?
I mean, I grew up playing football. I was playing with kids way older than me, if you want to be honest. I just never lost the touch. I was always good at it. I worked hard, so, you put in the work.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, anything you become comfortable in, right?
Yes, sir. I play football. I'm inspiring my little brother right now, so it just inspires me to keep going. I know I inspire a lot of other kids, too, so.
Yeah, you sure do. There's no doubt about it. How old's your younger brother?
He's 6.
Okay.
So,
all right, good.
He loves football.
All right. Well, TCU better get on him now, right?
Yes, sir.
Get on him early.
Yes, sir.
All right. You can never be too early. Zachary, how about you? What do you love about football?
What do I love about football? I love the memories that it's created over the years. I've been playing since I was really young, and just the friends I've made, the families that I've been a part of, that's what's made football for me.
Awesome.
And the experience for me.
You guys both have got me fired about football for sure, and excited to see you in a year from now, down in the purple here in Fort Worth. So thanks again for taking the time to join us today. You did a great job, and excited to cheer for you next year. I am now here with the guys who scored touchdowns, right? So before we had some defensive players in just prior to this. Now we got some guys who get their name in the paper quite a bit, right? We've got 2 wide receivers and a tight end that are 2023 commits to TCU. Really excited to join us. Rohan Fluellen is here from Gilmer High School. We've got Lafayette Kiowa. Did I say that correctly? All right. Big tight end from Arlington Sam Houston. And then we've got Jordan Bailey here from Denton Ryan High School. So 3 stud football players here, and happy you guys to join us. Welcome to the show.
Nick, thank you for having me, sir.
Absolutely. So I know that you get asked a lot, right? I mean, you're in high school and you're going through all this media attention and things, and a lot of people ask throughout the process, why you chose the school that you did. So, Rohan, we'll start with you. For you, why TCU?
I just feel like the relationship that I built with Coach Meacham over the past few years, and then just every time that I got to visit the school, how much in love I felt with it.
Sure. Did you know Sonny Dykes, Coach Sonny Dykes, over at his time at SMU? Did you know him at all there?
No, so I didn't really get to meet him, but I saw the game where TCU and SMU played, and I just saw that.
Okay, great. Well, good. Jordan, how about you? Why TCU?
Man, I fell in love with the culture here at TCU. I just felt like when I had came down here for that camp, and I was just talking with all the coaches, I feel like I really had a good connection with them, and they just showed all the genuine love here, and I just fell in love with it.
Yeah, Jordan, that's a big deal, right? I mean, this is I don't think people outside of the football world understand the amount of time that you spend right with these men and not only the guys on your team. So that people throw around culture all the time. But I think it's really important because of the amount of time you spend, right, with these guys. I mean, a lot of them you're going to see a lot more than your own family, right? So it's important that you develop those relationships. So, did you feel a family type atmosphere early on? Was that a big deal for you?
Yes, sir. Felt the family. Coach Meach, he called me. He's the most consistent one that ever kept calling me, and I just really built that relationship with him. And then he always made sure I came out and then seeing what they was doing with the program, and I just seen what they was building, and I just fell in love with it.
Yeah, both of you mentioned Coach Meacham and just his experience with high-powered offenses, offensive skill positions. I'm sure that had to mean a lot to both of you as well. Yeah, well, good. Lafayette, how about you? Bigger tight end. Now you don't get to run go routes like these guys all the time.
Watch the film.
Although we know you're old. No, like I say, you're capable of doing it, and you do it. But you also have to block a little bit too, and mix it up. But when you decided on TCU, what was the biggest factor for you?
Really just the way, like all the coaches, all the way from the directors to Coach Dykes, like just the way everybody just made it feel welcome and genuine and everything. Like I knew this wouldn't be a bad place to be, and it turns out it was a great one. So I made a decision, and just not being too far from my mom and everybody, just being able to be like in the area, everybody can come watch me play and everything. It's just a great deal to be here.
Sure, yeah, and for all three of you, staying in Texas and being sort of not too far from home, that sort of thing. I think that's always important, right? You want to be further enough where you can say you're out of the house, you're home, but you want to be close enough where you can go back and steal a little food and do some laundry, right? I'm telling you, that's important, right? So, well, good. Well, it's good for you guys to be here. Did you guys know each other prior to any of this? Did any of you guys have any prior relationships? Or I know, especially at the skill position, there's a lot of 7-on-7. Did any of you guys know each other prior to this?
No.
Okay. Have you met prior to today or?
This is the first time.
Oh, this is the first time. Okay. Well, I'm glad I could introduce you then. That's good. I mean, again, like I talked about earlier in terms of spending a lot of time with each other, certainly in your position rooms and tight ends. You'll have your own room, but you bounce back and forth, right, between tight end and wide receiver a lot. So it's good for you guys to get to know and start building that relationship now. Excited for your seasons coming up.
Yes,
Yeah, everyone expect to be pretty good.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you guys, each of you play some quality programs, and I know you do a great job. Let me close out here with each of you, and feel free to answer this question any way you'd like. Rohan, we'll start with you. What about football do you love? And this could be on the field, off the field. But tell me about football. Why you love football?
I just feel like ever since I was little, I've always had like a passion for football, and just every time I get the chance to step on the field, I get to do something that hasn't really been done before. And just watching my older brothers play since I was little, I got to see them, and then growing up to be able to do what they was doing, just being able to go to college and everything.
Yeah, sure. I think that's smart. You said something there I hadn't heard maybe before from anyone answering. You said that you get the chance to do something that no one's ever done before. And that is the beauty of it, right? There's stuff that you see on film. You're like, wow, man, and that's a cool thing about football. I think that's awesome. Lafayette, how about you?
Me, really, I just love it because I know the potential I got to do. Like I can be anything I put myself to be, really, and I can just make the difference for me and my family. Like just be the bigger thing to that sets it apart from anything else, really.
Sure. Yeah, and you mentioned taking care of your family and doing those things, and that's something I've heard throughout this whole recruiting process from everybody is how important family is, and I think that makes a lot of sense to this coaching staff currently because that's all you hear out of this coaching staff is a family environment, family culture. So I think that's been really important. Jordan, tell us a little bit about for you why you love football.
Man, I love football because the improvement and like the hard work that I put in, and then seeing the results, and then also like the brotherhood with it comes with football. Like the people that you play with, them end up being your real life homies and friends that you spend like 4 years with, and then like coaches, they teach you life outside of football, teach you how to be a man, be a good husband,
to your how to have kids, you know, all that. So
Absolutely.
just the things that football brought to my life, all the brothers and relationship and connections I brought.
Yeah, Jordan, you nailed it. I'll tell you, you know, as an old man, right, old washed up, forget has been, probably never was, but the brotherhood thing for me is a huge deal, because not only are you enjoying the good times now and it's be the best time of your life, but I can tell you that, you know, fast forward 20 years later, if something, you know, happens that's maybe adversity in my life, the first guys there are the guys that you play with, that you suited up with on Friday nights, on Saturday afternoons. It's amazing, you know, as life hits us and you got to go to a funeral or something like that, you look over and you see those guys there. So you hit the nail on the head. So thank you for sharing that. So we're fired up. I'm excited for this group. You know, in a year or so, we'll see you on the field catching touchdown passes from all three of you, and we'll be there to support you the whole way. So thanks for joining us today. You guys did a great job, and we look forward to seeing you next year here at TCU. We got a great group for you here, and we're really excited. So Vernon Glover here from Dickinson High School, the cornerback. Really excited to have you. Max Carroll came in from Briarcrest, right? And that's East Tennessee. All right, I'm going to ask you a little bit about East Tennessee in a little bit, because I'm not familiar with it in that area, and I want to learn a little bit more. And then Andre Salisbury is a lot closer. Didn't have as far of a drive from Arlington. Sam Houston, the quarterback, joins us. So welcome to the show, guys.
Good to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm fired up. I talked to some guys. We've had a lot through that are committed to TCU. You guys are in a different boat, still sort of things out. Obviously, TCU ranks high on your list. And tell me a little bit about, and Andre, we'll start with you, just about, you know, why TCU is a front runner in this process, and what kind of stands out about TCU for you.
With me, just conversations I've been having with the coaches. You know, they want the best for me, and it's in Texas, so that's why.
Yeah, no, Vernon, you don't have to come, you know, too far, right, down in Dickinson. So I said this with the last group, but you know, again, you get to come close enough, far enough when you get away, and then you get to go home and steal some laundry and some food. I mean, do some laundry and steal some food, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that was always my thing in college. It was a big deal. So, Max, how about you? We got is an athlete. You know, sort of can do multiple things, and so tell me a little bit about TCU though, and why that stands out for you.
Really, because like Coach Jones, he been recruiting me since my freshman year at Briarcrest when he was back at Memphis, and then he got the job like this December. So he really just been recruiting me hard since my freshman year. And I'm from Tennessee, but I love Texas. I come here like at least like once or twice a year to Dallas, and like the coaches just show me love, and it's just a good place.
Sure. Have you had barbecue here in Texas?
I had it one time when I last came here.
Well, then I have to ask you, what's better barbecue, Tennessee or Texas?
Memphis. It's like not even close.
All right, there's a lot of people that argue that around here and tell you, but it's not even close. All right, okay, we're gonna have to show you some good barbecue here in Texas, and at least get us a little bit closer.
Yes, sir.
All right,
yes, sir.
Andre, how about you? Tell us a bit why TCU stands out.
Man, TCU is like home. Every time I come here, it's like welcoming, and I feel comfortable here. It's like I feel like I can talk to any coach I want to about anything, really, and you don't get that too many places you go to.
Sure. No, absolutely. That keeps getting brought up is the family atmosphere that's been created here, that culture of taking care of one another, the brotherhood that keeps coming up from all the guys that we talk to in the recruiting process. What's going to be at the end of the day? What's going to be the deciding factor as you make your get closer to making your decision? What are you going to base it on? I know a lot of guys. It could be academics, it could be family, it could be an array of things. Let's start with you.
Probably it's gonna be based on like, just because I don't want to go to school for just football, so education as well, and my family. So probably just that.
Yeah, sure. No, it makes a lot of sense. How about you?
Really, like he said, education, and like if they have a plan for me, because I want to make it to the league. So I just want to know if they got a plan for me and if I'm an overall better myself as an athlete on and off the field.
Sure, no, it makes good sense. And Coach Jones, I look at what he's done, and you mentioned him, obviously, specific to the running backs, but for him, I know from 2019 to 2021, put 5 guys in the NFL, 4 of them through the draft. I mean, that's pretty impressive in just a few-year period. So,
yes, sir.
Andre, tell us a bit about you. What's gonna come down to for you?
I would say really who gonna push me the hardest, who not gonna let me slack off, who's gonna make sure I'm gonna get to the top. And
sure.
I gotta make sure I'm gonna get to the top, but they gonna help me along the way.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's those guys that push you the hardest that you find out end up loving you the most, right?
Yes,
it's
sir.
the ones that leave you alone. They don't care that much. I agree with you. Let's close with this for all three of you. And Vernon, we'll start with you. Tell me a little bit about. Tell me why you love football, right? And I've asked this to everyone, but it's different for everyone. On or off the field, what do you love about the game?
I've been playing football since I was 5 years old, and it never changes. I just always have fun. It's like when I'm on the field, it's like I can do whatever, and I just feel free. Yeah.
It's kind of just a moment of clarity, kind of push everything else away, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, awesome. How about for you?
I like the contact, to be honest. It's just like it's like one of the only sports you can just hit somebody.
Max, I'm with you, right? You can knock someone out and not get in trouble for it.
Yeah.
In fact, they praise you for it, right?
Yes, sir.
What an amazing thing. Yeah, it's great.
It's just fun to me.
Sure.
Know? Just like Friday nights, and then hopefully Saturday nights, and then hopefully Sunday,
right?
And even Thursdays, So I just love football.
Sure. Yeah,
sir.
Just to go out and enjoy it.
Yes, sir.
Good for you. Andre, what about you? What do you love about football?
Well, I started playing football, I think, my freshman year.
Okay.
And it was like I felt like I was here. I was here for a reason, and I found my purpose in life. Like I felt important almost. So it was just like way better, and it keeps me disciplined, and not just football, but school. When I'm at home, taking out the trash, all that. It's like it all builds up to a bigger purpose than just football.
Yeah, I think it's really powerful. It was good. I think those are three great answers, and from my experience here, three great young men, and so I'll certainly be. You got a new fan here. I'll be following you guys and your career. Hopefully, it's here in Fort Worth. But again, you've done a great job here today and represent yourself really well. Enjoy the rest of your time here in Fort Worth. We'll get you a little bit more barbecue so we can get higher on the list. All right, Max. But no, did a great job. Enjoyed it. And by far and away, this is my favorite group. I'm fired up for this one. These guys always have the most personality of any group. We have the offensive lineman, 2023 commits to TCU. We've got Bubba Ramsey Brooks here from South Oak Cliff. We got Big Mike Stoker from the same high school. And we got Ben Whitfield from Duncanville. So guys that I have to imagine, obviously you two are teammates, and you're right in the same area. So we'll start with you, Bubba. How long have you known these guys?
I've been knowing Big Mike for going on 2 years now. I don't really know Winfield like that really, but I'm trying to build a relationship with him.
Sure. Yeah, I think there's, in my opinion, there's nothing more special or room that's more special in the offensive line. I mean, obviously, five guys working together in harmony all the time, and I think there's just a special relationship within the team with the offensive line. That's what I always found. So you feel the same way?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you guys are doing everything together, right?
Yes, sir. We practices. I'm with him. I'm lifting with him all the time. We be competing against each other. It's always a fight between me and him. It gotta be. We the leaders of the line right now.
Sure.
Yes,
and Ben, did you know these guys at all before this process?
Yes, I know. I met Bubba once. We went to a training session with, remember Coach Joe?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I met him there, and yeah.
Yeah, no, because offensive linemen always stick together, right?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you got to compete against one another at times potentially, but you kind of have this bond that I think other people probably don't understand, right?
Yeah.
Inside of it. Well, good.
They don't.
For each of you, and Bubba, we'll start with you. I'm sure you've been asked this a lot, but all you guys had tons of opportunity. At the end of the day, what stuck out? Why TCU for you?
It's not too far from home for one. My mom could see me play. It was like a family up here as well, so that's why.
Yeah, the family thing keeps coming up over and over again. I get that from everybody, and know that's genuine. And Ben, since you got the mic there, tell me a little bit about what stood out. Why TCU for you?
Well, for me, my biggest thing was building a relationship with the coaches, and over the visit and all the time that I've been in communication with the coaches has been pretty good, especially Coach Ricker. He's like a very down-to-earth type of guy, so and that I really appreciate. And,
yeah,
it's pretty much, and also like Bubba is close to home, like 30 minutes away. So
sure,
yeah.
How about you, Mike?
Same thing for me. It's real family orientated. So I'm real family. I'm a big family person. So that was one big thing for me. And then also, it's not just about football. I'm a graduate here, regardless. So that's another thing for me.
Yeah, sure. All the opportunities here in Fort Worth, I'm sure that plays a lot into it. Did any of you guys know Coach Ricker from his time in Dallas, like prior to being here in Fort Worth, or did you?
Yes, sir.
You knew him as well.
Yeah, SMU.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because I was finna go there first, and then he came over here. That's why I switched over.
Yeah, no, it's good. I know it's nice to have that continuity in those relationships. I think it's good. I'm going to close here with this for each of you, and this is a question that has gone in all kinds of different directions today, and it usually does. But Bubba, tell me a little bit about why you love football.
Really, I love football because if I didn't have football, I really wouldn't be where I'm at right now. I would be in a lot of trouble when it helps me out, really. And help me try to get my mom in a better place, my brother and sister, and I'm gonna do it for my dad. So
I think that's fantastic. I mean, it keeps it's kept all of us kind of on the straight and narrow and focused on something really positive, right?
Yes, sir.
How about you, Mike?
For me, I love football because I get to kill. You feel me? Kill people. That's
God bless you.
I like doing that. You just can hit somebody without getting in trouble for it.
Yep.
You get applied for it, so that's why I love it.
Yeah, how much fun is that? People cheer you for it, right?
It's real fun.
Yeah, it is, especially at your position for you guys.
Yes, sir.
Ben, how about you?
Well, one big thing for me is also, like they said, the physicality. It took me a long time to build that up, but it's here now. So, and that's one thing I really appreciate. And, over the time, I built a deeper love for it. And, that's pretty much it for me.
Yeah, for sure. What's impressive about all three of you, before we wrap up here, is that I love the fact that all of you are obviously large human beings, but super athletic. All three of you are athletes. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. I've seen the film. It's impressive, right? So when those receivers are running around saying that they're the athletes, you tell them who the real athletes are. Yeah. And then you're able to all have that physicality. I think a lot of times in high school, that comes late for offensive linemen in some cases, and you guys picked it up and has obviously done a great job. I'm excited to see you guys control the line of scrimmage here in Fort Worth in about a year or so. Fired up for all three of you. And I'll certainly be rooting you on. You guys are welcome here at Frogs Today anytime. All right? You did a great job today. Final segment here at Dissecting the Frogs Today here at Roxo Media House. Really excited about this last group because we have two safeties and one wide receiver, which they've been eyeing them the whole time. I don't know. Like I said, it might lock them down right here in the studio. But we got Cordell Russell here from North Mesquite High School as a wide receiver. 2023 commit here at TCU, as well as Javion Wilcox from Lake Belton High School in Temple, Texas, and Jordan Lester, he's a Mesquite guy as well, but Mesquite Horn, a safety here. All 23 commits to TCU, and really excited. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, this is great. So, Cordell, we'll start with you. Tell me a little bit about, you obviously had a ton of opportunity, different opportunities, and at the end of the day, though, why TCU for you?
I say TCU for me because it really benefits to me and my family. My family is a part of me, so anything that I do, I make sure I include them. It's not too far from home, not too close, and all my family could come see my games, and me and Coach Kelly, we real tight. You know what I'm saying? He's a great coach, and I know what he could do for me in the future, just past football, even just in a life standpoint. And, I really just feel like this is the best decision for me, and I'm proud of my decision.
Yeah, for sure. I think, Coach Kelly's been known as an elite relationship builder. Yeah. So not only obviously, his development for the player on the field speaks for itself, but from everything I hear, off the field as well. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, well, that's good. So on the other side of the ball, Javion, tell us a little bit about the same thing for you. Why TCU?
It's kind of the same reason for Cordell. It's not too far, but it's not too close. All my friends can come see me, and with TCU, it's just a lot of genuine relationships with real people that help you become who you really are, and people that help you grow as a man.
Yeah. I keep that. It keeps coming up as relationships and family, and some people, they get in a huddle and they break down on family, but then everyone goes their separate ways. It seems like family it's genuine here. Is that right?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
Yeah, I think that's a big deal. Jordan, how about you? What at the end of the day, why TCU for you?
I chose TCU because it's been my dream school since I was a kid, and like all the coaches here are cool. Coach G, when I came up here for the OV, he just made me feel so comfortable and all that with my whole family. And they all genuine, all just trying to get to know me, make me a better man. So that's why I chose TCU.
For sure. Tell me a little about, you said your dream school. What kind of got you to know or turned you on to TCU early on?
So it was like that 2014 year when Trayvon Boykin was here, all that, and they was playing pretty good and all that. So I just fell in love with the school, and I was playing NCAA all the time, playing with TCU, dropping 90. So I was like, yeah.
Sure, yeah. Did you play a little quarterback yourself?
Yes, sir. Like in middle school.
Yeah.
Just because I was tall. So
right.
I just played quarterback.
Yeah, they put the tall guy there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But now, that's the thing about playing safety is that, you are sort of the quarterback of the defense, right? I mean, playing safety, and you can probably relate to the same thing
yes,
on your
sir.
side. Sort of running the show from the back end. How was that experience? I know you were young, playing a little bit of quarterback, but how was that experience for you, over on the other side of the ball?
Offense, it's fun, to score the ball all the time. But playing quarterback, for me, it wasn't hard. It was just just know the plays, and just give it the ball, and then throw the ball. It's not hard. It was just fun. And sometimes just running around, making plays. That's really why I play quarterback.
Yeah. Well, so I know in today's world of 7-on-7 and those things that you guys, even though you play at different schools, obviously you two across the way, but. Did you know any of these guys, Javion, beforehand? Any of these, even the guys sitting here or current commits before you got involved in this process?
I knew a little bit about Cam Cook, the new commit, the running back 4-star from Stony Point, just a little bit because of Braylon James. Braylon was on the 7-on-7 team I was going to play for Juice. So that's the only reason I knew a little bit of Cam Cook.
Sure, yeah, and there's obviously a couple guys now from Temple, right? There's been sort of a history there and a pipeline from Temple up here to Fort Worth. So I think that's great. How about you, Cordell? You know any of these guys?
Yeah, I knew Big Mike, Breon, Big Bubba. I knew K-Saw. I was familiar. I kind of got them reeled in. Let them know why I committed, and let them kind of see for themselves. I ain't pressure them. Right. And then they fell in love with it too, just like I fell in love with it. So. I really feel like it's a good connection and good bond, and we can all build a bond as a family and brothers.
For sure, yeah. Being in DFW, you got there's so many different football events. I'm sure you guys had crossed a lot of paths with a lot of these guys as well, especially up in this area. Before we close here, I want to ask each of you this question, and feel free to answer it any way you'd like. Javion, we'll start with you. Tell me, just about football in general. What do you love about football?
Football really just. Sometimes it helps me get away from reality. It's like somewhere it helps me escape, When I'm on the field, I feel like my mind just clear. Everything just open up for me, It really gives me an opportunity to put my family on the map and, get out of where I come from.
Absolutely, yeah. It's just a moment of clarity for everything, right?
Yes, sir.
I definitely can relate to that. I understand that. Jordan, how about you? Tell me a little bit about, why you just love the game.
I love football. It's always been fun to me. Something I grew up doing with my whole family. Always been like a football family. I watched my brother play football. That's what made me fall in love with football. And football just means everything to me. I don't think I would be the same person without football. So that's why I like football.
Love it. And we'll close out with you. We got that watch has been blinding me the whole time. So we know you got a little bit of personality. But on a serious note, tell me a little bit why you love football, the game of football.
To be honest, football to me is really it makes me feel some type of way that you can't explain, because I could be doing so many other things, and just where I grew up from, it's not easy, and football just make it feel like it's easier. Like it just take a lot of pressure off you, and football always just been my first love. As soon as I played it, I fell in love with it. And then I just kept going, and now it just put me in a good position. And now I'm just kind of keep going and get in a better position. So really, football this is my life to me.
No doubt. Well, I'll tell you this: for those who are watching, I've had limited interactions, but got a chance to talk to all three of these guys, and not only the film speaks for themselves. All three are football stars, but all three are really impressive young men who carry themselves and present themselves just in such a great way, and we're certainly excited to welcome them here, the Frog family. So, hey, you guys did a great job today. The offensive linemen said they were the best group, so I'll let you guys kind of fight that out. But great job. Welcome to here at TCU, and excited to see you here next fall.
Thank you.
Thank you.